Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Leyline podcast, Game Changers. I'm one of your hosts, Cody Urban, with some other amazing hosts here. Is it wearing yellow hats or holding yellow stuffed animals? We're just having a funny night, you know. We got Pikachu in the house and a minion. And what do we got there, Crystal? What are you holding?
Um, I think it's supposed to be a Pikachu.
I feel like I recognize that character. Somebody on here's got to know. We got a lot of geek
From
power in this.
Asia, yeah.
Well, it's cute and it's adorable. And yeah, apparently we got a little theme going on tonight. So thank you for joining us as you wait for the next episode of WandaVision to come out. So hey, we're all together and we're talking about some amazing things. We got our guest, Bemmie. He is a esports team owner, organizer, and streamer, and their focus has been on social equality in competitive gaming. Awesome topic. Looking forward to talking more about that. We got some cool updates with Leyline. We're doing amazing things, making a game out of charity. We're here to amplify charity, empower people, and reward people for doing some good stuff in the world. So it's awesome. Join us with that. Be a part of our crowdfunding campaign. Sign up at leyline.gg. Be a part of it. We're starting a movement here, people. You want to say in a few years, you know, when Leyline like totally changed the world a few years back, I was a part of that. I signed up. So be a part of that. It's super
I
cool.
was there.
I was
I
there,
was
bro.
one of the first
There.
one.
So yeah, we got like I said, I'm Cody. We got Pikachu here, Boogy, and we got Crystal and Bemmie. So we're here to talk about some cool stuff. So Bemmie, thank you for joining us today or tonight. Depends on where you're watching from. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think you cover all your bases by just saying that alone. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Time
Well,
is a flat circle. I don't know. Isn't
that's
it
deep.
Technically, is if you have a clock.
right? Right. Hey.
My
Yeah.
Apple Watch is square, so
Oh yeah, well, I guess it's got some round edges to it, I suppose.
that's true. That's true.
It's like a circle square. It's a weird hybrid.
You say tomato, I say what? All right.
I thought he was gonna say tomato, and I'm like, I just only know pretentious people that say tomato. You're just kind of like,
Tomato.
always drink it with my pinky out when I drink my tomato juice. I don't know. We're
This
way
has
off
already
topic.
started
We
weird.
got an amazing guest here.
Yes.
So let's find out more about Bemmie. How about tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that may be a big answer, but what would you like to share?
Sure, I'll try to put in a neat little bow. I currently right now I am sometimes an esports caster, but mainly what I'm known for nowadays is being a tournament organizer, or TO as the jargon is in esports, and also a team owner. I sometimes like to just say founder and head guy because owner sounds a little more corporate, and we're a little unorthodox in some ways. We like to keep it very community and stress free.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cool. It was nice hanging out with you in one of our Discord hangout
was.
sessions, but it's so nice to put a face to the name and the voice. So thank you for being here. Can you tell me more about how you got into esports and organizing and things like that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, it started like about 10 years ago. I
Oh.
uh, just bear with me. Got into competitive break dancing and street dancing, and it was a lot of fun.
Right
And
on.
then I also just I don't know. I just liked. I like how in competitive nature things anybody in the audience could also be the talent and the star of the show as well. And I think there's something about just sort of uh, flow of the wave of just like from being a spectator to actually being part of the participation. And I think also in some ways there's a little less stress because something abstract about that kind of competition both in esports and competitive street dancing is a big thing. So I organized some events. I managed some events for like people like Red Bull and some car company and Uber and other stuff like that. And then I went into, then a few years ago, I went into the hospital, had a near death experience, and then managed to, after a few nights in the hospital, get out, and I kind of wasn't really able to dance as much anymore. And there was sort of, I already really enjoyed the gaming, and it was a passion of mine. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to transfer my skills that I've learned from organizing events and competing in street dance, which has a lot of similar characteristics to esports, and then try to put it into effect with esports, which was something I wanted to do in the end. And just being in the hospital kind of told me, okay, just go in this direction. So I went into esports. I started studying different games because I was more just like a casual RPG player of Nintendo and all that other stuff. But then I started watching CS:GO and Smash Brothers and FGC and all this other stuff. But like I didn't really find any games to speak to me. Later on, I would love just all video games everywhere as I find out. But Hearthstone was the one that really got me into it. If you couldn't tell already, this is all Hearthstone memorabilia. But just something about the inspiration of like there's always going to be an esport for no matter what age you are. There was a wide demographic, and it was probably one of the more co-ed friendly organizations. And like when I came out of the closet, it was really really accepting community, more so than other games. Some games are great about it, but like definitely Hearthstone felt very relaxing in doing so. And then since then, like Hearthstone really sparked that fire in me more to just continue organizing and trying to support the gaming community as a whole. And since 2016, 17, and then onward, I've been just kind of on that grind.
Is that a part of the Hearthstone game, or just the community vibe that's more LGBTQ plus inclusive or representative in game or anything like that?
The game itself is just sort of relaxing in the sense of I'm a big medieval fantasy person. I love that kind of aesthetic, and it just sort of spoke with me with card games as I used to do a lot of Magic the Gathering. But yeah, I don't think it was mainly so the game is a lot. It's a lot of community, a lot of people. Like my first friend that I made there was Dawn, aka Dragon Rider, and she found like she's amazing. She found like an esports team, and she continued on, and she actually competed in some of the events and made it to world championship stuff. It's like super amazing. Very proud of her. But her friendly gesture when we competed, and she like didn't just go like, "Hey, that was a great game." She kind of like and give me advice and go like, you should try this and then the other thing. She was like, you should try all these resources, and she gave me tools. And like it was so, she gave me so much more than like what I guess deserved, or that's a bad way of putting it, but like basically she gave me more than you should to a stranger. And just like she really was very welcoming, and that sort of inspired me to keep that kind of momentum going, because that was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And I found it in other games too, but definitely uh, I would say Hearthstone's my hometown in esports, and then it went on from there. Now I even do Hearthstone events for DreamHack now, which I just got to announce today, which is exciting.
Nice. That's
Super
awesome.
exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big too, especially since they just announced like they're going to be running a lot of the Hearthstone esports stuff officially for Blizzard. So I feel like I jumped at the right time.
That's excellent. It's not the same crowd in Overwatch. They're not as nice. Doesn't feel like.
Oh, really?
There's still some good people. There's like the Death Blossoms community, which is a wonderful women's community in Overwatch, and there's also Sailor Scouts as well. And then
They're
of
not
course,
that nice in Mystery Heroes. Let me tell you.
yeah, I mean, you're always gonna have your bad eggs, but if you can be a force of good, you can sometimes turn it around.
Curious, when you say not that nice, are they not that nice from like a discriminatory type of way, or are we just saying
Not
it's
that
like the
nice
vibe
because
is
I'm
just
not that good. That's why. All right, moving on.
Oh boy.
Moving on.
Yeah, we did a little trash talk there, you know.
Okay. I mean,
Hot in here.
Yeah, right.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
Lead with love, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Stop.
I'm a Doomfist main. Or the fist. Lead with the. I know. I just get back.
I mean, from what I know, you've organized a lot of major events. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah. As the DreamHack thing I referenced, that was
Mm-hmm.
that's probably definitely like a big
Congratulations, by the way.
highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah. And then the first one I did with them was last year in February before everything went into lockdown was Anaheim, and that was
Mm-hmm.
my first taste with them, and I got to be friends with it. But I also done stuff for WSOE. Um, I have been sort of assistant admining there for one person named Pizza, who's awesome. Her name is Bailey, but Pizza's her name. But she's really cool.
Sure.
We've been doing Valorant stuff. Like I did, I helped work a 10K open, and like we did a 15K open for Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which was kind of fun as well. And those were cool.
Nice.
It's a really cool esports arena in Vegas. And then also the one that I got to that really just sort of highlighted my career was I was helping run and like admin and run production for a big event called WESG, which was the World Electronic Sports Game, which was based in
Oh.
Beijing. The World Finals, and then there was country qual. It was sort of Olympic themes with different game genres, and then everybody would be flown to Beijing for the World Finals, and they actually held it at the Nest, where the 2008 Beijing Olympics were, and
That's
like
insane.
the prize pool ecosystem overall was like 5 million. It was crazy stuff like that,
Holla.
and like I got
Let's
to.
go.
It was my first. It was my first like taste into working international esports, and I made so many friends there, and a lot of the production people I work with actually I met there and still work to this very day. So that was
That's
another
awesome.
big highlight. But yeah, I mean, definitely
Imagine.
there's a lot of events that I've created, but at the end of the day, those I would probably say is like highlights for sure.
Wow, that's super
Right on.
impressive. Yeah.
First, I would love to hear how you've brought more of the social equality into competitive gaming. What are some methods that you've done to do that?
As much as zero tolerance is maybe probably a easy thing to say, it is kind of that is making the social norm.
Mm,
Instead of making a big deal or putting people of a different demographic, basically minorities of gaming, women, LGBT plus, people of color, and all of those in between. Instead of just putting them on a pedestal and go like, you must respect these people, is like just make it the norm and just sort of
mm,
making sure that they feel like they are equal, they are here, they are players, they're competitors, and I respect them the same way as I would respect any of the no disrespect cis white male players that I tend to see day in and day out with these kind of competitions, is making sure that both of them feel equal, like they don't feel like the people that are minorities in gaming don't feel like they're getting special treatment because of who they are, and they feel like
mm.
they're being treated equal, and just sort of enforcing that idea of that we all really just love video games.
Right.
Let's just work together. Let's just make it the norm. We don't need to make this a crazy thing. It's like if we just make it feel natural, I think it makes it less intimidating for those also who are raised in a bigoted way that doesn't make them feel as warming to other people that aren't them. And I feel like just making it normal where everybody's here to chill makes it a lot more
Mhm.
easier and a lot less intimidating.
Man, we got to
Yeah.
bring stuff like that to the UN and let's settle some disputes between countries, like in a game,
Right?
Smash Brothers or something. Let's just beat the junk out of each other in a video game,
Yeah,
laugh, we hug it out, GG,
exactly. Laser
move on.
tag something. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gaming can work toward world peace. I'm telling you.
I
True.
believe
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
Unless you play Monopoly with my family. All right.
Well,
um,
Oh, you guys want to have Christmas in Monopoly? Look at the time. I gotta go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a different game like beer pong. No,
Hey,
Okay.
have you
he's
met
like,
my? I guess you know.
no.
no, I have
And
not. I have
no.
not.
You right on the nose. That and
Whoa.
the corn cob or whatever it's called.
Cornhole. Yeah.
Thanks. That's what it's
Right.
called.
Cornhole. Oh yeah, tossing the beanbags. That's always
Right.
fun.
Yeah, tossing the beanbag.
Into a
Great.
hole. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's a brilliant sport.
I mean,
All right,
oh,
go ahead. Kristen.
oh yeah. I mean, other than doing this, I know that you're also a streamer.
Yeah,
Right?
a little
How's
bit.
that going? Yeah.
Pretty good. I'm part time with that as well.
Mhm.
It's been fine.
Mhm.
Viewership's fun. But it's more a personal thing. I kind of stream mainly like Dungeons and Dragons with some celebrity voice actors from video games, and then
Ooh.
also
that's
on top of that, I stream Hearthstone obviously time to time, but mainly also speedrunning because I love speedrunning, and I think the community that is probably the most inclusive gaming community I've ever seen in my entire life, which is super awesome. And then
hmm.
sometimes game development stuff because I'm working on a video game right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent.
There's a lot of
That's
topics I would like to chew into right
Yes.
there.
Yes, there is.
Take your pick. I'm all yours.
Well,
Well, we can't
go
ask
ahead,
about the video
Boogie.
game.
Go ahead.
We can't ask about the video game because it's in development. But I want to know. So we won't. So I got introduced to watching your Overwatch League team, ATK, and it was really fun to watch in Fran's tournament because you, the casters were calling it, everybody's calling it that you guys were the underdogs, and they anticipated that you guys would have got smashed, and you did not. And after you started moving forward, I was like, oh, let's go, because like an underdog story, right? I love that. I love it. And you guys made it pretty far. Can you tell me about your Overwatch team and ATK?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Well, our Overwatch team is one of many branches that we cover in Attack Mode. Attack Mode is an esports organization that plays in multiple games. We started in Hearthstone, and then we went on and branched out to both fighting game, uh, let's see, Pokemon VGC, Valorant, and then some other content creation teams. So we have some streamers on there as well. And then we're dabbling in League of Legends too.
Oh,
And then we're even getting a second Overwatch team soon called Defense Mode, just to have that
Oh,
nice little balance. But yeah,
sure.
Attack Mode is also just another thing I found in a It's very much a passion project, but it's still super cool and things we're working on. It stands for acceptance, time, and kindness, which is the motto of how we run the organization because we accept people for who they are. We give them time to develop and grow their skills as a person and also as a player. And then we fuel them with kindness and try to reassure them that we're not an organization that's just going to kick them out after 2 losses in a tournament. Everybody has their bad days. And if we really were in it just to make a profit, we wouldn't, keep you there for a whole time. So I think it's important that they need to know that we're a stepping
I
stone as a part of their journey.
I hope
Beautiful.
that message reaches a ton of other organizations
Yeah.
because behind those, behind those crosshairs or whatever it is behind the screen, there is a person
Right.
controlling that thing, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
are all human and we're all fallible. So, when you hear like, because I keep up on a little bit of Overwatch, right? And I see what happens on like with contracts and what happened with Valiant and all. It's like they're just
Yeah.
not they're not that character that they play, right? They're actual, and these are usually younger people where they're still learning about the world and to be an adult and life in
Oh yeah.
general, and to get shit on like that, there's no other way to really disrupt or like like just completely redirect somebody's dreams other than shit on them like that. There are people behind it, and that's also it kind of like stems from like social media though too, because the
Right.
anonymity is you can do and say and be and whatever you want, and there's no consequence because you can call somebody a dickhead and it's like, well, I'll just go eat my Cheerios now because it doesn't matter because you did on the. But there are
Trolls.
people behind those screens, that behind that tag there's that name, there's somebody that earned that that nickname. There's a person there that who has hopes, dreams, and feelings, so that message, sorry to go on a soapbox for that shit, pisses me off. So that message that you just said, that needs to reach to the highest of heavens for esports and into the lowest of the lowest of tiers. So thank you for doing that. Sorry about that. Shit pisses me off, man.
No,
No,
of
but I
course.
mean, the
Well, I
world
mean,
needs it. Sorry. So go
yeah.
ahead, Benny. Yeah.
No, just all I was going to say is like if you want to, if anybody wants to check out an organization that shares that kind of message, I would definitely recommend checking out Evil Geniuses. They are a lot of my big inspiration for uh, starting Attack Mode. They are my favorite organization. They have a lot of what the messages that I believed in. You know, the owner of the organization is also somebody who has dealt with minority in gaming. She's a black woman as well, and she's super cool and very progressive. And they have all these amazing players. Like Sonic Fox is obviously a big name that comes to mind when it comes to gaming and inclusion. And they're part of that organization as well. And honestly, just the amount of diversity also there on that team doesn't feel like it's ham-fisted is truly a breath of fresh air, and I love them.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Evil geniuses are
Yes.
inspired acceptance. Was it acceptance, tolerance, and kindness? That was the
Time.
I'm sorry.
Tolerance is a good one though
Yeah,
too.
yeah, there you go. So that's what ATK stands for, and Evil Geniuses was a part of Inspire 8. That's kind of ironic there.
I love it.
Now, I know
love it.
Crystal was planning on queuing up some, just kind of looking at, I think your website was it? Sorry, what was it we were planning on looking at about Bemmie's
I
Bemmie's
think we got
world,
some
right?
photos of
We
him
have.
like
Photos.
Oh
breaking
yeah.
down. Let's go.
Yeah, we have some photos and the website, but we have some photos and I want to show you guys their cool logo. So,
ATK.
for 1 second.
When you do a defense mode, what will
Here we go.
will you have an acronym that stands for something there too?
Yeah,
Like-
we were
There we
thinking of like what was the I have it written down. It's not as fresh in my head as is attack mode because attack.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
well, attack mode's been around for 2 years now, and defense mode, the small like Overwatch project that we're working on is just like something that we have in our heads.
That's cool.
Would they ever
What is
verse
it?
each other?
Ooh,
I
do
mean,
they
we
scream?
actually are going to be. We actually had defense mode get invited to their first invitational
Oh.
called the Will English Invitational, and it's a super cool guy named Will English that runs this, and he's inviting both our teams. So who knows? Depending on how the tournament is seeded and where they're paired, they could. I mean, we could just go up against each other, but we also like to think is it's like 2 chances to maybe take on our rivals that
True.
beat us sometimes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. We have a student ambassador program, and the students put together this really cool like Friday night fights. Call out like one team versus another team, see who's the best, and then that's it. There's no tournament. It's just best of 3, and then go home. Yeah,
Good old
that
scrims.
that would be really fun to see. Defense mode versus attack mode.
Right.
I think that would be fun. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that offline. But yeah, that just came to mind because you have 2 teams. Makes sense. 2 divided by 1. I don't know.
So where are you
Math.
at in this photo right now? I see you, Bemmie, at an event on the Twitch.
Looks like Hearthstone.
Right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
see DreamHack in the background.
Nice.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Sorry, where am I looking at this?
Oh,
Oh, at
Oh,
the
sorry.
stream. Sorry.
on the
Mm.
stream.
Mm.
Oh, gotcha.
You have
May
a
help if
We have
I
so
beanie
many
on?
tabs.
Yes. So this was that it would help if I actually participate, wouldn't it? All right, let's look here. Okay, yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so this is the February event at Anaheim, California. So this was taken by my esports dad, as I like to call him, but he's like my mentor for learning a lot of the esports things when I first got in Mushu Beef. He took a picture of me, and this was the stage that we were playoffs day for DreamHack, and it's just me at Anaheim, and it's just kind of like a very significant picture to me because it's like it just kind of shows where I've came from because I was this weird, awkward, geeky little kid just running tournaments, and then now I'm doing like it was the first event that I got like personally flown out for, and they covered my travels and all this other fun stuff. It was like, wow, I'm doing this for legit. So yeah.
Wow.
that's
Living
so
the
cool.
dream while so
Tell
many
me
kids
about
are,
it.
probably aspiring to that, I just know when I grew up, a career in video games didn't feel like that was possible, and when I was young, I don't think esports was even in the world was
Right.
honestly, and then suddenly, oh my gosh, there's sports leagues for video games. How did I miss this? I was born just a couple of years too early, I feel like.
Or at the right time, you don't know, you could start your own thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. I mean, I've had this goal since I was like 12, working in gaming in general. So This is a picture of one of our first ever players we recruited. He's one of my golden children. I love all my players, but there's something near and dear to my heart. This is Curb, or Aaron Joslin. He's our melee player. He is top 100 in the world, I believe,
Ooh.
or is very close to that. He's also the best of his character in the world, though. That is 100% sure. He plays a very obscure character in a game called Super Smash Brothers Melee, which is a very popular esports title that has existed for
Oh yeah.
goodness knows how long, a long time, yeah. And this is
What's his
his
character?
his character
Sorry.
is Game and Watch. And the
I
reason,
had a feeling when you said obscure character, I'm like, you can do some serious damage flipping that bacon.
yes, yes, but unfortunately in Melee they didn't finish coding him, so half his moves actually don't work, but he still makes it work. So like,
Wow.
yeah, so like there's weird shield things and dodges that he has to do in a specific motion in order for them to actually trigger. So it's some big brain stuff, but what I loved about him is not only his indomitable spirit to play the same character for almost 20 years. He's
Yeah.
just like, I also made him too, but he also is a good person. Has always been a positive member in the community by being just a very relaxing and approachable person. And obviously, his skills have shown before. This is actually a photo of him at Super Smash Con in 2019, where this was considered to be the biggest melee major to date. And he made it all the way to, I believe, top 64 in the lower bracket, and was going up against the number one player of the world in that picture, Hungry Box from Team Liquid.
Okay,
Wow.
so I have a GameCube and still play Melee. So
Mhm.
the fact that there are still events like that, well, that was pre-COVID, but you know, we'll get there. I might have a future in this. I can go the
It's still
distance.
around,
Put
still
me in,
going.
coach. Recruit me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, he's
totally.
like in the
So you're
zone right
saying there's a
now in this
chance.
picture. Look at him.
He
Wow.
I mean,
does.
when you're going up against the number one player in the world, it
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah. You were
no
Intense.
talking
time to
about how chill
waste.
he is, and I'm like, I look at this picture and I'm like, I don't want to mess with that dude. He looks serious.
I thought the
I
same
love I love
thing.
Curb. You should check out at Curb
Curb.
2D QERB, and he has some sick montages that he's been using right now, and they're
Go check them out
he's
right now. We have, like I said before, the student ambassadors. They're trying to put on some of these, events. A good question for you is, how do you go about getting your sponsors for your events?
That's great.
Oh, well, for a long time, I didn't have my own sponsors for my own events. I mean, year 7 is when I actually started getting sponsors out of 10. So, I mean, it's an investment. It's a commitment to this kind of stuff. And I, I mean, everybody wants to make their passion their living in life, which is totally fine, and it's a great goal to have, because who doesn't want to be happy and doing the job that they want to do. But there is, in esports, there has to be a level of expectation where you are going to have a time where you are just going to struggle financially getting into this, and you have to be okay with that. And i'm I'm very lucky and fortunate that I've made so many amazing friends that have helped me get to where I am now, and I'm still trying to climb up the ladder and bring them with me, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So the best thing to do is to make your own products. So many of the things that I did, I organized my own events before, and now what I do is I organize events, produce a season of it, and then show a finished product basically to different companies and say, you can slap your name on this. And that's one of the ways that you can kind of go about this. There was a there was an event for Valorant that I was producing, and I did one season of it, and then I showed it to another company, and they invested about like $2,000 into it by the next season, because they saw the commitment, the professionalism, and the type of environment that we were showing within producing the event. So really, uh, getting the sponsors is networking, making your friends, and then showing finished products, showing that you can do it. Because sometimes people aren't just going to believe you on word. You kind of need to show it. So it's very, very important. But do some homework, find your research. So sometimes you'll find things where you go like, a ramen company wants to sponsor this. I thought maybe like some video game controller company would rather do this. Not necessarily. Some people are trying to break into things as well. So maybe it's good to start at the same level as, another person. If your local donut shop wants to get into organizing tournaments, hey, and you like want to start organizing tournaments as well, try to find a deal, meet halfway, do something like that. You never know where you're going to find it. Just keep an open mind.
That's awesome advice. Thank you. Hope they're
Yeah.
watching. I hope you're watching out there. Sorry.
Would you say you got in kind of on the earlier side to esports? And
No,
no? Oh.
very much not so. I mean, esports, the esports that we know now, um, I was just starting to get in when things started taking off. So
Mm.
I don't feel like I missed it because I still feel like it's a rotating door and just there's different widths of the revolving door that we go through of esports. But I think the first golden age of esports that I like to think. I don't think I got kind of near the tail end of it, and now I'm just kind of riding the wave and feel the momentum. But
Mm.
in an industry like this, with ever changing video games that get popular, they go down. There's a resurrection, there's a cult following. Now it's franchise. There's all this stuff. I don't think it's ever too late. I think you just need to kind of be smart and just know that you can't put all your eggs in one basket, whether that means having different job positions, doing different things like either being an organizer, team owner, production person, commentator, or you're playing different games as well, like League of Legends, Dota 2, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it's become so big that a lot of people want to get in it because they think it's fun and it's gaming. But there's a lot of different aspects to it, like you mentioned, and it's actually a lot of work.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
especially it also comes down to where you come from as well, because everything is so different everywhere. Like, a lot of people will go off of American systems because
Mm.
that's what is very big and apparent. Because you got LCS, and Overwatch League was in California for the longest of times, and you have those things in Fortnite and just all these other big events that tend to be in North America, and you don't realize that there's also other big stuff happening around, and they don't realize that those other systems here in France, esports organizations get government funding almost all the time, as long as they put the word ECS in front of their organization, which is esports club. Esports clubs are all the rage. It's such an easy way of getting into money and starting an organization in France. I run European leagues um, in Hearthstone all the time, and I run team leagues, and it constantly about almost over 50% of the organizations that participate are French organizations that are just started because they're esports clubs. So that's like just an example. You don't have that in America. So not always the American system is going to work out, but yeah, everything's very different in every different location.
How has COVID affected your organization of these events now?
I mean, it hit us hard as any other organization, but it also taught us a lot of things as well. I mean, definitely the FGC and Melee and just our Smash Brothers teams, because we cover different Smash Brother generations. It took a hit, obviously, because LANs are not a thing right now. And if they went to a LAN, I would kick them out because that's stupid. Wear a mask, wash your hands. But
Can you say that again, please, for the people
wear
in the
a
back?
mask, wash your hands, 6
You mean
feet
it's not a
apart,
hoax? What?
take your vaccine. It's not a hoax. Don't listen to the man in the yellow hat. Listen to the other man in the yellow hat. So
I don't know how to take that. I'm
Uh,
wearing a yellow hat.
yeah, well, I meant you. Sorry. Listen to Boogie. It's not a hoax. But either way,
I was joking
like,
for the record.
I know.
Him? Me?
He's joking.
Him?
He's okay.
Me?
He's okay, Chad. He's okay. But I mean, there's also things that we were fine with. I mean, quite starting an esports organization now would be very, very difficult depending on what the goal is. Our goal has never been really to be a big multi-million-dollar franchise kind of thing where we're publicly traded and stuff like that. Excuse me, it's like getting super warm in here for whatever reason.
Passion. We're
It's like,
passionate about the topic.
yeah, it's getting passionately. We're getting heated up. But basically, long story short, we compete passionately, so we actually expanded more than we were expecting to. We've had some differences in sponsors, but some that stay consistent due to their their type of resources that they provide. But I think honestly, we've reformed, but we've learned so much that I think we've actually been better for it. I think honestly, 2020 was one of the best years for attack mode. We've only been around for 2 years, but it felt very 0 to 100 right away because now we play in the Overwatch League version of Hearthstone, which is the Grandmasters, and we actually play in the Americas division, and we have almost the contenders team in Overwatch that I really believe that they're going to do well in this open division.
They are pretty good.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Just wondered if, you know how you said the Evil Geniuses inspired you. Do you know of other teams that you guys may have inspired your team with the culture that you are setting and inspiring in others for that sense of kindness and acceptance for everybody?
I don't think I don't like taking credit
That's fair.
too much, but I do I do very humbly get messages that people started organizing events, and I do know one esports organization that came out of an event organizer. And that was cool. Shout out to ILH. They're very they're an esports Hearthstone esports organization. They actually got a very diverse roster, and the two owners are a very progressive thinking type of group that are very cool. So I I I mean I get a lot of people that message me about that. I think I've influenced maybe a little more in event organizing than the esports org. I mean, attack mode's not too big yet, but we're working on it.
Very nice. And I got one more for you.
Yeah.
So you're streaming. We were talking earlier that you do speed runs of JRPGs. And I'm an old school guy, I
Me too.
like the Nintendo.
That was the topic I wanted to sink my teeth into earlier.
So you can see all my
you want to ask the
crazy
questions?
wires.
Go ahead.
No, you teed it up. Go for it.
All right. So you just jump in. You speed run old school JRPGs. Tell us a little bit about that, because you said a 7-hour speed run. Like
for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, or whatever it was. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
I don't play those. But I am working on it. At the longest speed, so like, we have in attack mode. We actually have a really cool speedrunner named Pidge Zero, and she's like taught me a lot, and she's super awesome. She does some of the stuff for Games Done Quick as well, which is a very big speedrunning community that does like cool. If you don't know them, look them up. They're basically the definition of wholesome gaming. But as far as like speedrunning goes, I do a lot of old RPG speedruns. Right now, I am working on expanding my library. The ones I'm confident in at the moment that I'm still working on is a old DS game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and then I play Octopath Traveler, which is a JRPG, old style inspired, that's made by Square Enix. And it's really cool, and there's a lot of different categories. So you can have shorter runs. Those runs tend to be 3 to 5 hours. I'm more in the 4-hour range. I'm in the middle. I'm getting better, but I'm also the longest speed run that I am working on though is Final Fantasy VIII. I'm currently working on that one because it's really fun.
Drawing the magic takes so long in that game to, you know what I mean? I mean,
tell me about it.
Yeah. Fun tip though, you can get tents into Kuraga's like early on before you even leave the Balam.
You know what's bad? Do you remember the card game? Yeah, that's part of the run. That's part of the run, and you have to have specific timing, because you have to restart the game and press a specific button that will tell you when. And there's also, this is crazy. If you go, you have to go to, there's a resource on this. If you go to speedrun.com, Final Fantasy VIII, there is a resource that is a RNG calculator that tells you exactly how to play the card game because of the seed that you're in, based off of 1 or 2 cutscenes, depending on how many chocobos there were. If you see at the very 2 frames of it, and then basically if you have that, then the rest of the run is pretty straightforward except for a bunch of other stuff. But that run lasts between 8.5 to 9 hours.
Wow!
Yeah,
and they tend to be done in relay races, or not relays, but relay speed runs. So you usually have 1 or 2 friends with you, so you don't do the whole thing.
Okay. Because yeah, I would have to use the restroom at some point.
Well, there's really long movie cutscenes in the game, so
There
you
are.
have some
Yeah.
moments. Yeah.
Or just summoning Eden.
Yeah. Yeah.
That summon takes a while too.
Yeah, or just like, every other special, they're just like they're dramatic and beautiful. But I just like JRPGs because
Mhm.
it's a different type of brain power of just being on the fly. And I come from a strategy game background, so it felt natural. Platformers are really cool. I respect the Super Mario World community and their ROM hacks and stuff like that. It's amazing, but like I can't click buttons that fast. I
So
can go
yeah,
through a menu, but that's about it.
I love it when we get some folks who can connect with me. I feel like I'm always surrounded by these. Everybody's playing a lot more of the newer games. I'm like, I'm just this old school gamer guy. So talking about Final Fantasy VIII or Chrono Trigger, I'm like,
Hey, boomer.
I know. I get it
I love
every
you, Cody.
podcast.
I love you.
But
We're like the same age. I'm just
I
when somebody called you, I was
older.
like, oh, I gotta jump that so people think you're older than me. Excellent. Wear a Pikachu hat. Perfect.
There
15.
you go. It shaved years off of you. I'm assuming you've played Final Fantasy VII as well,
Oh yeah, I have the whole PS1 generation.
and I just wondered if you had thoughts
oh.
about the remake, because they changed some stuff with the storyline near the end there. And
Okay, it makes people happy,
yeah,
and a lot of
Very
my
diplomatic
a lot of
answer.
my
it is.
acquaintances voiced in that game.
Ah.
So
Oh.
thank you. It's a that's about as much as I can say.
Oh, that's
We'll
great.
leave it at that.
Ask my question after
its
we go
main thing is real time mechanics. Fightings, it's not my thing. That's
Mhm.
about it. It's nothing. It's not a bad mechanic. It's a really, honestly, the game's really well made. It's just I'm old school. I like my turn base. I like to
Yeah.
be able to take my time to think about stuff. Obviously, in the speedrun you can't, but
Hmm.
it's a lot easier to process. Except when you have. I would rather have a turn base with the first boss in Final Fantasy VII, where it's the giant machine, and I know when to attack the tail, as opposed to just running around and getting shot by everything at once and going, "Where's the tail?" I can't do that. I don't play Monster Hunter. I can't think like that.
Mad props to those who can. I mean, their
For
reaction
sure.
time is just, whoo! You're
Also,
crazy.
you wouldn't think this, but the speedrun is longer in the remake than it is in the original. The original is 7 hours. The remake is about 9.5.
Is it because of the cutscenes? Because there's
Cutscenes,
Yeah.
mini games,
Mm.
characters that weren't significant in the past are significant now. Just a lot
That's
more
wild.
stuff they put in. Yeah, it's crazy, but
Because they took the first dungeon essentially of the original game and expanded it into its own like massive RPG game. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just Midgar alone. These two are
Yeah, it's
looking
crazy.
glazed.
No, I
Oh, okay.
love listening about. I don't know how many hours.
Hello, welcome back.
Right, I don't know how many hours I spent at my best friend's house
Mm.
watching him play Final Fantasy VII while I just sat and drank Pepsi and ate Doritos, and oh, did you see that? That was awesome, dude. Yeah, so the summons were my jam. I loved like dude, do it again. Knights of the
Right.
Round.
Yes.
Odin, do it. Yeah. So I love it. So when I hear people talk about it, I'm just like
I know.
reminiscing. Oh,
I do want to ask one quick
Yeah, go ahead.
question though,
Yeah, go
if
for
I
it.
may. It's over to Crystal. I'm just curious what your like childhood gaming experience was if you were into gaming back then.
So actually, I wasn't really into gaming at all when I was younger. I was the only child, and I guess because I don't have anyone to play with all the time, I never had a console or anything at home. But I took a gaming class in college, and that was what kind of sparked my interest. But then we had to play PC games for the class to get a grade, and COVID
Sure.
happened, and I did not own a computer, a PC, a gaming computer,
Mm.
and I would go to PC cafes to do my homework and stuff like that, which was like playing World of Warcraft and yeah. But because of that, I had to buy a computer, and then I slowly got into it, and I played Overwatch when it first came out, and I played it again 2 years later, and I was just like, oh my god, gaming is awesome. Why didn't I start this earlier in my life? But yeah, so I'm a newbie, but excited to play all the games
And
out
she
there.
streams it now, you
For
know.
sure.
Yeah, I do.
So have you like try to in a way catch up on missed time by going back to some old classics and just gaming history in general?
I
Like
see what
have
you're
you
doing.
I have not.
Okay,
But
okay.
if you want to introduce me to some, or
Mhm.
I'd be
Yes.
down. Yeah.
Well, that would be a whole TED talk, so I'll save it for
Right.
after the show.
Yeah. We'll catch up about that later
So
off the
That's fair.
podcast.
I
Yeah.
was so excited when like the original like Final Fantasies came out on iOS. And
Oh yeah,
it's
that was
like,
a
oh,
thing.
I could put Chrono Trigger, all that on my phone. And now I could just play anywhere. This is great. I started taking very long bathroom breaks at my job. And
Something wrong with his stomach, man.
yeah, I
He's
got
still in there.
irritable bowel syndrome.
Man. Yeah, I
Well, that
love
went weird.
iOS in respect to that, but I'm very much if I can play it from the original, like straight from the stuff, and still be in the controller and look at a screen, I like it a lot. Nothing against iOS, just me.
No, I get you. I would love that too, for sure. But
Oh, yeah.
A good friend of mine.
accessibility was nice. Yes, go ahead, Boogie.
Oh, I was gonna say a good friend of mine had a habit when he was buying games that he would buy one, the special edition ones, buy one to play, and one to keep in the cellophane. He still has the original Gold Zelda in cellophane. Like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm like, wow. Well, if you're ever
That's
down on your luck, throw that thing on eBay.
How much is it
national
worth?
treasure.
But he did that with every single JRPG or
Holy
RPG in
cow.
general. From
It's a
and
good
he's a
bit.
hardcore
I'm sure it's worth a
Nintendo guy.
lot.
Yeah, but he did that with every RPG going up through all of Nintendo's. It's pretty crazy. He's got a crazy library of it. I see you,
He-
Oscar. I'll
If
call
he
you
has
annoying.
kids, he could pay for their college out of some of those video games if he would
Uh,
want to part with them.
Or they've already broken in and opened a couple.
Oh,
Hey,
Kids.
kids!
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
I actually have a friend who just goes around thrifting at thrift stores and finds these old games that he knows are worth a lot, but people there
Wow.
don't know. And he
like
sells
Goodwill.
it, yeah, like Goodwill or yeah, and he sells them online and he's made a living from that since COVID. A comfortable living too. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's smart. And then you can also
Yeah.
go at Murica. Murica is a big gaming market, like almost like online flea market of just like all retro stuff. It's where I got like a bunch of like retro things that I couldn't get.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right before COVID hit, there was a retro store that opened up in the mall, and I was like, I walked in and everything was from way back when, and
Yeah.
I was stoked, but yeah, then COVID hit, so I was like, oh man,
Soon TM,
Wow.
soon TM. At least the vaccines are in process.
Yes.
yeah, right on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Also, this
I'm a
is
teacher outside of Leyline stuff, so I heard teachers are like second wave recipients. Like all the first responders.
I would
are
hope
second wave.
so.
Yeah.
I would hope
So-
you're near at the top of the food chain. I'm, obviously first responders and all that.
Right.
But,
Nurses,
I mean,
of course. Yeah.
you gotta teach somebody, You gotta get that
It's-
next gen ready.
I know. Who is gonna teach our future kids?
A
Yeah.
lot
We
of parents
appreciate
are
you.
Yes.
right now, and it's very difficult. So
Sure.
because my wife, I'm working. I try to help out where I can, but she's taken the lion's share of it. And when you have someone that's in kindergarten and someone that's in second grade and a 1.5-year-old baby making a ton of noise, it's odd and it's weird because it's like, okay, I'm teaching you guys math, so this is your level of math, this is your level of math, you be quiet. So, let them do the math. You're making a ton of noise, so it's insane. And then my wife's not the exception. There's a lot of parents and some with more kids even deal
Mm,
with that. So
Yeah. Crazy.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a picture of me dancing.
Oh, nice.
What were you getting ready to do?
Yeah.
Oh. I think I was doing it already. I don't know how to describe it. I was glitching, so it's like one of the things where you hit one side and then you just go back. It's like you're a
Right.
scratch record.
yeah.
but that was a host showcase. That was one of the last events I threw before I went to the hospital, and that was a very popular showcase, and it became a meme in the street dance community as the Croc
Really?
guy
Oh.
because I dance in Crocs all the time.
Oh,
The
awesome.
video went viral in the community, and they went like, "This is Crocs." So then I made this a profile picture for a while, and I cropped out the Crocs.
Oh, I was
we
gonna
gotta
say.
rewind just a little bit. You dance in Crocs?
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because there's
Awesome.
little to
Is
no
it
traction in
comfortable?
Crocs. Well, it is also comfy.
Huh.
I don't know how. I don't even use the flip thing to keep my feet in. I just somehow happen to have my feet in them.
That is
They were built for your
awesome.
feet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But did you said it was breakdancing too, right? Though, wasn't it?
Well,
Or did I miss?
I said the incorrect jargon. It's street dances, so it's more like the robot waving stuff. There's still
Got
some
it.
like spins and athletic stuff,
Sure.
but at least I'm not upside down and whatnot.
You imagine
So I've seen
doing
some
one of those.
breakdance moves where the Crocs should just fly right off.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I was actually breakdancing, we wouldn't even have this conversation. I wouldn't even mention Crocs.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, did I accidentally crop out the Crocs? And
No,
you
I
missed
did
it.
that. Don't worry.
There's
Now,
an
we got to
injured
find the
player.
original. We got to find the original.
You'll never
photo,
find it.
Make an NFT out of it. The Crocs guy. That's awesome. I think it's really cool that you did that. And now, before the show, Bemmie was treating us to a little beatboxing. Did you ever do that for people to dance to? Like when you're putting on a never really. You're
No.
really good. In
No,
fact, I was
no,
hoping
no,
you could
no. I was
play
not
us out
good.
when we wrap up the show. It's okay. Bemmie's gonna play us out while we say goodbye.
Ooh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you want like the same sound over and over again, you are more than welcome to have that. But no, there was like there was a tournament I went to one time where if there was it's like best of one in these tournaments. And if there was a tie, so there's three judges and they point to who they think did the best with the song. And if they think they liked both, they do a tie or they put an X up. If there was a tie in scoring, um, the event would get their local beatboxer to do the tiebreaker music, and that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, and that was a cool event in San Antonio.
And you got to do that?
No,
Oh.
I never got the chance, but my friend I traveled with from time to time, a dance partner, would.
That's cool. What a different world.
It's very interesting, for sure. You see the toughest people with tattoos up to the neck, and then the next thing you know, they do a pirouette perfectly, and you're just like, wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm always so jealous of people who can dance well. It's just not a talent that was given to me.
Oh, you can pick it up whenever you want.
Mhm.
But I mean, it aches the bones. Let me tell you. Like my knees have never been the same
bet.
again. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Always need a leg rest.
True.
Always.
True.
My wife and I do some swing dancing.
Oh,
Oh.
wow! Respect to you.
Well, some. She's 6 feet. She's really tall. So there's certain moves like
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
swing her around. She is terrified that she's going to smack her head on the ground. So,
Oh, sure, yeah.
so her being tall, but we got a few different moves down. And so for our wedding, when we danced, we did a little swing thing as our wedding dance. It was pretty cool.
Adorable.
That's amazing. There must have been like a non-formal dress because I could not imagine a traditional wedding dress like being able to do all that swing stuff unless
It was
she
toned down a little bit for it.
Okay.
And she's very tall, so I think the heels are like this, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair as well. Like,
Yeah.
goodness gracious, doing that in heels, I could not imagine.
Right.
Doing anything in
I
heels.
just imagine the bridesmaids like behind her while she's trying to spin with the train.
Oh, where they're like holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Thanks for sharing your pictures.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's great. You've been so wonderful, man. I love it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I love it.
And I have 8 million more questions for you, but we're running out of time. And
Already?
I have yes,
We are.
we're coming pretty close. I know there's one more topic that Cody needs to get to, but I would love to have you as a guest again. I just think there's so much more that we need to talk about, and I definitely want to pick your brain after or offline too, if you're cool with that.
Yeah,
You,
sure.
it been wonderful to chat with.
Well, you
Thank
guys
you,
are a wonderful
Haley.
group of people in a wonderful company.
Thank you, Strawberry Milk Tea, for hooking this up. It's brilliant, brilliant. I love
Yes.
it. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
Know you.
No, okay.
But yeah,
Gosh.
I have more questions, and I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I
But
know.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
lean you in there, Mr. Cody. Cody's got some really cool stuff that he recorded a video for earlier, and please let us know, because this is big.
it's big. Yeah. We at Leyline, we're trying to change the world. And through that, we are trying to encourage and empower people to do positive activities, charitable activities. And so we are building that list of activities that we can do. We've had Boink running are you familiar with Boink? As Haley told you about the program that you can put on your computer, let it run in the background, maybe when you're not using it, and it's actually adding to scientists and their computing power, like
Yes, I've heard of
power
this.
to,
Yes.
yeah. So, I mean, what a great, very inexpensive. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to do a whole lot. It's a few clicks of a button, get it running, set the time that you want to run it, and your computer is now donating processing power to help, fight cancer, help map the stars, mapping and figuring out climate change and models for things like that. And you could be a part of that. It's been around for 18 years.
What?
I think that's what I looked up. It's been around a long time, but the engineers at Berkeley have had it for a long time. Exactly, nobody's heard of it. So
Heck heck.
here's Leyline. We're trying to make it. Hey, let's make it sexy. Let's
Yeah.
take this like amazing engine and put it in a rad car. Yeah, people would want to buy. You know what I mean? And that is coming through with, hey, earn Leyline points through computing power. Those points go toward gift cards. They're going to go to NFTs. We're going to reward you, incentivize, make a fun game out of it. We got leaderboards and who's beating who with what. So all that to say, we have had the idea for some time. Well, giving blood is a big necessary activity that any of us can do, and we all need to do, because there's multiple different blood types and there's a lot of need for it. And I mean, people get in a car accident, people even with cancer sometimes need blood transfusions, so there's like always a need for it. And sometimes we might go get a snack afterward. I once was given a t-shirt after giving blood. Woohoo, great. But what if we could incentivize this a little bit more? Sorry, I don't want to knock it, but
No, no.
we want to get people giving blood. So
I got a rod.
It's a very honest response of like, woohoo, yay.
yay.
Got
I got a shirt that I'm never gonna wear. It's like
Yeah, right.
it was thick, itchy cotton or something like that. I'm like,
Oh yeah, something
is
very
going in
like
that bottom drawer.
501c3
Yeah.
material.
Exactly. So we figured, what? Let's do a Leyline blood drive. So we have a team. If you download the Red Cross app, and you can join a team and just search for Leyline, join that team, and starting this upcoming Sunday through the following Sunday, which was Valentine's Day, it's that week of love. Right. That's the idea, at least. So let's share some love by sharing life. And so go give blood between the what was it, the 7th and the 14th. Take a picture. You don't have to make a gory picture, right? We don't have to show the needle necessarily, you know what I mean, or show a ton of blood. But you could be like out front and maybe show your what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say tattoo.
Band-aid.
I meant your bandage or something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I'm like, what am I saying here? Sorry, it's late, right? And
somewhere.
I did better when I was standing in front of the Red Cross than I am doing right now, for sure. But yeah, so give blood, take a picture, post it on your social media. Our hashtag is LayLives. Yeah, that's cool, right?
Ooh, okay.
Play on words, LayLives.
I like it. I like it.
Exactly. And so you can earn 500 Leyline points for that. Now,
500.
500 is really good because 2,000 will earn you a $10 gift card.
Wow.
But wait, there's more.
What?
Wait, there's more.
On the week of love, if you go with a friend, you go with somebody else, and take the picture together. I just gave blood with my new friend Bemmie, right? We each get double. So 1,000 and 1,000.
Ooh.
What? That's
right?
insane. That's so
But
many
wait,
points.
there's more.
You're kidding me.
We want to, because this is like the very first blood drive campaign, also reward people with an exclusive NFT. We don't have that quite locked in, but we know because we'll be able to track this. This is the beauty of doing good with Leyline. Actually builds a resume of it that we can verify. We're verifying your computing hours. We're going to verify this with the Red Cross, all of that. And so kind of like your LinkedIn page where you talk about all the good things, or not necessarily all the jobs that you've had, good or bad. But imagine that, like a digital resume that's been vetted, it's authenticated of charitable things you've done. I don't know. That sounds kind of cool. Maybe some of us might want to keep that
It's
private.
amazing.
I don't know, but I think it's amazing. Thank you. It's,
But wait, I don't know.
all right,
There's
go for it. What
more!
else? What did I miss?
I was just waiting for another one. I just wanted to participate.
I know. It was fun.
I was
In
gonna
the
start
moment
throwing
last.
things off my shelf. I'm glad you stopped. I appreciate all the offers you brought.
Yeah.
I mean,
So no,
I
I'm very
love.
excited.
I mean, like, because when I did the Boink thing and donated my computing power, it's nice to see how much impact you actually made. And they tell you that, so, it's not just like, oh, you do it and you forget about it. It's like, oh, wow, I actually kind of made a small change, a positive
Mhm.
change in this world. Mm.
Yeah, and stuff like that also doesn't take too much of your RAM. So like you can just still be running, I don't know, the latest Mass Effect thing
Everything.
that just got announced. Then you can run it at the most ultimate speeds and then still do the thing.
Heck yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need Bemmie as a host.
That's
Right? Bemmie
I
gets
think
it.
I'm getting replaced very quickly here. Is what's happening.
Oh,
Nobody can replace you, Boogie.
no.
Oh, I knew I loved you, Bemmie. New best friends. Well, now it's time to say goodbye to all my family. MIC. See you real soon. KEY. Why? Because I work here. I wanted to thank everybody for listening. And please go check out our Discord. Check out leyline.gg. We are crowdfunding. Please check us out and go to our donate page. Just participate. If you want to see a better world, go to leyline.gg. Tune in next week at 7 with another wonderful guest. Oh, who's going to follow? I don't know. Nice. We got to have Bemmie again. I don't think we can have anybody
Bring
You
my
just made
puppet
us feel
version.
good.
And
We'll
I
give a
wanted to
pup.
thank everybody for listening. Thank you very much for Bemmie. Ben, where can everybody get you? Where can they
Yes,
follow you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, first off, just because it's the Barracuda in um people can find me at Bemmie Esports. That's BEMMIEE Sports. At the Twitters, and then also Bemmie _ for my Twitch if you want to check that out. And then you can find also my esports team and my event production brand linked on my Twitter bio. So quite literally, my Twitter links everything. It's my link tree. So if you want to go there and see all the stuff I'm doing, you're more than welcome to. And then also people can follow me at Leyline. I know it's crazy, but if they follow me at Leyline, they can see all this cool stuff I'm doing for the good world. I just go under a different name, but Leyline's really cool. It's a really cool Twitter.
Do yourself a favor, follow Bemmie. You can tell if you
Yeah.
even late, if you came in early or late, you can tell, sweetheart.
Can we shout out
please.
Bemmie in chat if there's a mod?
Bemmie. I can shout out Bemmie now. Bemmie. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Wait, Bemmie, how do you spell your Twitch?
Here, I'll just type in chat real quick.
Or
Oh, awesome.
that.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
We have the technology.
And as I say every week,
All
lead with
right, go
love.
follow Bemmie. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, go follow Bemmie.
The link is in
Thank
there.
you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Crystal. Lead with love, lead with empathy. Be nice to somebody. Challenge yourself. Be good to people. We're all on the spinning rock, spinning through infinity together. Do some good in the world. Check us out at leyline.g. Love you guys. For Cody, for Crystal, and for my new friend Bemmie, we're out of here. Thanks, guys.
Beatbox us out.
Oh,
Play us off.
Leyline.
Everett.
Do good.